Hey, welcome to the guide. That's Yo, I'm Will. Oh no, wait. We
Everything's turned around.
Okay, well, I got that. I'm Yo. That's Will again.
I think.
Got things
Yes.
switched up. Anyway, welcome to the guide. Game reviews from Christian dudes, and we got a lot to go over today. A lot.
So we better just jump right in, starting with Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods 12, available for all three major consoles. One of the biggest difference, of course, will be graphics.
Right.
You played it on the 360, and it had individually rendered grass blades.
Yeah, when I played it on the 360, I felt like I was watching golf on
Right.
the TV. It was really weird. I was like, hey, that's Tiger Woods. Oh, wait, no, it's me.
No, it's not. Hey, that's Augusta National. Oh, no, it's just a rendering of it. So, yeah, it'll obviously look better on the high-def consoles on the Wii. You get the use of the Wiimote with Motion Plus, although you can use Move on PlayStation 3 to render like a realistic golf swing. You can't do that on the 360.
No, you can try, but you just end up throwing your controller into the wall.
That's not good for anybody, because those are expensive.
But what were you saying about the Wii? How it was very sensitive and how the
Oh yeah,
swing.
you know, you can set the Wii to the point where it'll emulate your real golf swing, which for me is no good.
Bad idea.
'Cause I stink at golf, and why would I want to do that in a video games are supposed to be fun. Tiger Woods is one of those rare video games where it can be so realistic that unless you're a golfing expert, it's just not any fun because it's too much like the real thing. But you can tweak the settings and find like a little sweet spot between the two. Not a lot has changed from last year. The big addition, of course, was putting in the Masters into this year's edition, which is cool because I think it gives your career path a better direction. You feel like you're really working towards something,
Right.
to get invited to the Masters.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. You feel very proud to work your way through the Masters to get up in there. So
Yeah, and it's cool. They have Jim Nantz, who actually does the commentary this year.
Yeah.
He's an icon for golf, so I'm glad he's included in it. And you have the caddy, which is actually pretty helpful in the game for me. There's a few times where I probably would have taken a more aggressive shot, and the times when I didn't listen to my caddy, it was bad. I should have.
So listen to your caddy.
Which actually brought up a good point playing the game. We really need a caddy for our lives. Do you remember that Seinfeld episode where Kramer started taking his golf caddy with him everywhere?
Yeah.
And his caddy would be like, well, you could go with the ham and cheese, but I might recommend the tuna on rye.
Man, that would be amazing.
Well, we actually have that. I mean, Jesus said that when he departed, he was going to send the Helper. The Helper was the Holy Spirit. And the whole point of the Holy Spirit is to be a helper.
Right.
Basically a caddy for our lives, you know. But of course, with a caddy, you need to listen.
Exactly. That's our problem. You got to sit down and learn to take the advice.
Right, because you got the Holy Spirit sitting there saying, well, you know, if you take that shot, you're going to get into the deep rough of sin. I would suggest going more to the right and staying on the righteousness of the fairway. You know, but we have to listen to his guidance. So it's good to have a life caddy. Listen to yours. What would you give Tiger Woods? I would give it a 5 out of 7 on the Wii.
Yeah, 5 out of 7 sounds safe.
It's a lot like the last game. There's a few new elements, nothing that radically changes it. It's enjoyable. If you love golf games, you'll love it. 5 out of 7. Now we're shifting to Shift 2.
Which is a very anticipated game, but I don't think it's going to really meet up to the standards of Forza 3 and Gran Turismo later on this year.
Yeah, you know what? I enjoyed the first Shift. I thought it was fun. It was definitely intense. If you got the in-car view, man, it felt like you're racing. And this year they added the helmet camera, which I actually found harder to get used to. It
was something that I've never had before, so
Right.
it was very disorienting trying to race with this new weird
Right,
angle.
the helmet camera basically makes it look like you're viewing things from the helmet of the racer, but that means that you'll jostle back and forth, and as you're going around a turn, your head will turn that way a little bit, which really threw me off going through the apex of a turn because I was looking in a direction where the car wasn't going yet, and that made it kind of challenging for me to adjust how I should steer.
When do I turn?
Right, and how far do I go? And so I didn't think that element worked very well.
And something I thought was interesting about the multiplayer that they added is you get points for hitting other cars and for spitting people out. So which is kind of cool, but I think that can also backfire on an entire race. And if you're online playing and you just get a group of people who want to take each other out and not really race, then
that's not really the whole point of the game.
Right, and they're just getting rewarded for it.
However, graphically, the game looks amazing.
Very cool.
It's got solid sound design. You can customize your cars, do all those types of things. I don't think Shift 2 is the game to take on Forza and Gran Turismo. It's a decent balance between going from the super sims of Forza and the arcade games of games like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. It fits that niche, but there are times where the balance feels off. I'd give Shift as well, Shift 2 as well, a 5 out of 7.
Yes.
You know, there's no content to worry about. It's just a racing game. It does some things really, really well, but it doesn't really excel in any particular. It's fun. It's a fun racer.
Yeah, it's a fun racer.
It wasn't what I was expecting. I was kind of let down.
Yeah, it's about as good as what's out there.
Right. And I think Forza 4, when it comes out this year, will definitely step up that game a little bit more. Shift 2 will continue to trail behind.
I think so, completely.
And then the final thing that we wanted to talk about is Rio, the new movie coming out this weekend, actually, with the parrots who are endangered. You remember that, the blue parrots?
Yeah.
And here's the thing about Rio. It's one of those movies that is so average that as a reviewer, you can't really think of anything to say except, yeah.
Well,
and that's like the full review. So thanks for joining us on the guide. No, just kidding. Yeah, Rio, it's just an average movie. There's no reason not to go see it. There's no reason really to go see it.
If you like parrots.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. We took our kids. We enjoyed ourselves. But as soon as we left the theater, it was out of our minds. There was nothing about it that was meant. We enjoyed ourselves, but then we're done and we're moving on to the next thing. However, it did bring up an interesting talking point. I was talking with our kids afterwards because one of the characters in the movie talks about flying is freedom, and freedom is not having to rely on anyone. And so we were talking about that concept afterwards because, like we mentioned with Tiger Woods, Jesus said we needed help. That's the whole reason he came. Sin is a prison that we can't get free from on our own.
Yeah.
We need help. We have to rely on someone for freedom. And actually in the movie, one of the character who said that finds out that they too had to rely on someone to truly find freedom. So it brought up a good talking point, and we had a great time discussing it. But again, once we're done with the movie, we were done with the movie.
Right.
So
what would you give it a rating of?
I would probably give it a 4 out of 7. I mean, it's just a solid average movie.
Yes.
Which I know sounds weird, but it's rated G, it's family friendly, it had some enjoyable moments. It's one of those types of, it's like a person who really wants to be fun,
right?
But they kind of aren't.
So it's one of those wait for the dollar theater DVD kind of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you go to it, you probably won't, be like horribly disappointed. Just don't set your expectations too high. And then one final note that we want to share with you here on the guide: Wii 2. That is the sequel to Nintendo's console. Not
I thought
Wii 2.
you said we were doing something.
No.
Okay.
Actually, there's an announcement that Nintendo will reveal the successor to the Nintendo Wii at this year's E3.
Which is, what, June
7th through 9th. And nothing's really known about it, except it will have HD graphics. So it should be able to compete with the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 graphic-wise.
I hope it's a robot.
I
think that about does it.
Is that everything?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I can't think well because we're all thrown off and
just backwards over here.
Totally crazy.
But if you got any questions for us, comments, feel free and email us. I'm Will at m88.org and
Johan at calvaryabq.org, or of course you can always read more at hollywoodjesus.com.